Hello, my name is Morgan Lee, and this is my simulation reflection for Marketing 241. So a little overview about the first 3 rounds of the simulation. For the first round, we did the survey results and the marketing research, and I found that a lot of the survey questions that I asked were very helpful in choosing what bag to select and where to advertise. But there were several questions that I feel like I could have definitely changed and selected a different one that would have been a lot more effective for picking the bag and choosing the price of the bag especially. As far as that goes, I did not really use the marketing research. I was still trying to learn how to use the simulation, and I feel like I skipped over that when it could have helped me. My price from the first round, from round 2, I priced it at $65.99, and that was very low. And so in round 3, I priced it at $189.99, and that was very high. So we went from one end to the other. My ad spending for round 3 was acceptable. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad. And my promotions from round 3 were very well picked and found a lot of success in those. Rounds 4 through 6, I fixed the pricing. You can see that rounds 4 and 5 it was green, so I got that in a good range. And then in round 6, when we had to reposition, I ended up pricing a little too low again. And for the ad spending, I was very consistent across all the rounds, stuck with the orange. I couldn't figure out how to get it higher than that. I tried different things in each round. My promotions, I nailed it the first round, so I kept it the same, and it was successful all of the rounds. As well as the product distributors. The first round 4 did that. It worked out well for me, so I kept it the same, and it turned out good for the rest of the rounds. So round 7, I readjusted the pricing again to $139.99, and that was perfect. And then same with the other 3 areas, I was very consistent, performing about the same as the previous rounds. So the most challenging round, I would say, was round 2. Like I said before, the survey questions that I asked, some were not helpful, and I feel like there was a lot more information in the market research that I could have used to pick the correct product and price the bag correctly. But overall, I feel like I did okay, but it was the most difficult round to figure out navigation-wise. So the lessons that I learned, conclusions and principles from this simulation, as well as from the class in general, I really liked this picture that was in the book in the last chapter. I feel like it really summed up all the highlighted points that I learned, not only from reading, but from doing the simulation. And I think one of the most important things was to know who your customer is and who it isn't. I really liked that I was able to do that positioning statement and could think back every single time that I was doing something who my customer was and who they weren't. And so I did refer back to that positioning statement a lot. I struggled with pricing throughout, so I think something that I learned is that really focusing on the pricing and making sure you pick the right strategy is important. And then I really liked what we learned about environmental factors and environmental scanning. I feel like that came into play in round 6 when we had to reposition because of the new bag that came out. And I found it, again, difficult with the pricing, but just to, I guess, be more aware of the surroundings instead of just coming up on the round not knowing what was going on. I think that would have been helpful as well. So my initial beliefs about marketing and how it has changed. My initial beliefs were very basic. I knew that from the ads that I saw on Instagram and on the TV that it took a lot of creativity, but I knew that it wasn't simple, and I didn't know any of the details though. So I learned a lot during this course. I've come to a better understanding that there's a lot of data and logistics that goes into marketing. I learned that the development of a product and who the target market is comes from a lot of research, and that's from the company themselves that do that, as well as through other sources that they're able to gain that research. And I learned a lot of strategies behind advertisements and how to understand when one pops up now, like what goes in behind all of that. So it's been a really cool class, and I've really enjoyed the simulation especially. I feel like that was a really good hands-on learning experience. And that is my presentation.